Hey everybody, welcome to episode 83. So actually that's a Monday for me, so this will probably be going out on Wednesday, I believe. Um, I had a pretty good weekend. Hope you guys did too. Um, Today I'm going to talk about the the last of the well, it's not the last of, but the final studio album from Ghost that I finally picked up. So now I have all five. I don't have all the EPs yet. I have just the one single. I don't know if I haven't seen Hunter's Moon come up yet. And then, of course, there's some rare singles that you can get on Discogs that were mostly European releases. They're kind of pricey, so I'm probably going to hold off on those. If they release them, that'd be great. But so, and I'm also gonna. This is gonna be a double one because the EPs aren't as long, so there's not as much to talk about. So since this EP Popestar came out right after Meliora, and the fact that I don't have the special edition of Meliora, I'm going to do it kind of separately. I obviously wanted Square Hammer, but it's not on the original release, but it is on Popestar. If you get the deluxe release of Meliora, they pretty much put the EP onto it. I didn't get that copy, so I got the two albums separately. So I'm going to kind of include that at the end here because there's not a lot to talk about on that outside of Square Hammer. I mean, a few of the covers and stuff. But so we'll get into that. Before we get into that, make sure you like and subscribe. Help me out, get this channel going. I think we got pretty good momentum, and it's kind of it's a snail's. We got some momentum for a snail. Sorry. Look at that escargot. Ha ha ha. Anyways, so we've got a little bit of momentum going here. We'll hopefully get up to 1,000 sometime soon. So, I'm trying to help everybody out like that. Or sorry, I'm trying to get everybody to help me out. I guess I'm helping you out by, offering you these videos, right? Okay. So anyways, but there it goes. Like and subscribe if you like it. If you don't like it, dislike it, Make sure to comment, start some dialogue. I've got some stuff going here now that some people are starting to chime in with some comments. So I've got some back and forth, something to tell you guys. And of course, one of the beauties of this is people telling me, or just like I'm trying to inform you of albums that you may not be aware of and kind of give you my take on it. I also get people in return telling me about bands and whatnot that I've never heard of. And one in particular, and I'll get to that in a minute. And that's awesome. That's the way that we do this. I know the last couple of videos have been, action figures and modern action figures, modern comic books, and of course the apartment tour. I hope everybody liked that. I know it's kind of a weird video to do, but I figured I'd just throw it in there, just so you can see everything. Yeah, so like I said, the comments and stuff help a lot. Obviously subscribing and liking helps a lot, but I really enjoy the back and forth. I actually had a really good conversation this weekend with my son's dad, who's also an avid record collector, and we took the kids out to the record store and took them out for a bike ride. It was a real nice day, and we had a good conversation about that. I enjoy that. I mean, I could talk all day on this stuff, and I love to have conversations about the stuff. So, let me show you. This is technically my weekend haul. It's not really, I guess this isn't going to be a haul video, but I just want to show you. Obviously, I got, Meliora, which we'll get to. And I ordered that on Amazon on Thursday, and it came on Friday, so I got that fairly quick. Here's Popestar. This is the Popestar that was at Electric Kitsch, the one, my local record store. I can't get it on Amazon right now. Well, at least I can't get it for like a normal price. So I decided, I'd just buy it there. It was like a couple of bucks. Not even that, like $1 more or $2 more. Yeah, $2 more than what I could have got it on. I thought it was more when it was in the store, but I was wrong. It was not as much as I thought it was. But that also makes me think of something. When it comes to the EPs, I don't think the EP should cost as much, or only a couple dollars less than a regular LP, regular album. I think that's a little bit too much to ask. I think even $10 for a single is too much to ask. I think I think a single, back in the day, singles I think were $1.99 back in the 80s. Adjusted for inflation, $8. I think like maybe like $7.99, $8.99, maybe $9.99, I guess, for the singles. But asking $20 for an EP is a little steep. I mean, if I look at it this way, $2.50 per song, right? Let's even be generous. Let's say $3 a song, right? It costs you $3 a song. So an album with whatever 10 songs on it, should cost somewhere between $25 to $30. And then a single in that regard should cost about $6. And an EP should cost, this one's got 5 songs on it. Most of them have 4. I would say between $12 and $15 is what they should be charging for an EP. So I just wanted to throw that out there. I also wanted to comment about this. These are the sleeves at my record store, Electric Kitsch, that they sleeve all their stuff in. They put everything in a sleeve, which is cool. Even if it's shrink wrap, they still slip it in a sleeve. I think that's awesome. And I really like these sleeves. They're kind of like a matte. I mean, they're not as shiny, and they take a little bit away from the artwork, but the feel's better, and they don't slip around as much. The ones I have, I think, are too slick. I have a tendency to be fighting them a lot. So there's that. So we'll cover those 2 albums. That's what this video is about. But I was talking about this all the time, and I want to show it to you. I'm going to do its own video. I just want to kind of digest it a little more. So this came Saturday. This we released on Saturday, the 29th. It's a brand new album from Gunship. It's their 3rd studio album. I had pre-ordered it before. I wasn't going to pre-order it, then I did pre-order it, and then it came on Friday. And I'm going to do a proper video on it. But I got some issues on it. There's a couple of things I find wonky about it. And again, I'm still trying to digest it. I like it, but I'm trying to understand why I like it. And I don't think I've worked that out yet with my own head. I mean, I like it. I mean, obviously, if you like something, you like something, right? But for some reason, there's certain things that work and certain things that don't work. Overall, I think it's a great album. Like I said, it's a double disc, and I'll get to that in the review on this. There's an issue with this that I found weird. Hadn't come across before, and maybe people have, that are avid record collectors. But I personally haven't come across it, and I never came across it back in the day. So we'll get to that one. Sorry, the name's Unicorn. The album's called Unicorn, by the way. So, yeah, check that one out. Go listen to it on YouTube. See if you like it. Get the disc if you like it. Okay, so a person, a watcher, had or a subscriber, whatever you call you guys. I call it watchers because of DeviantArt, but I guess subscriber, I guess, is what you're technically. I don't know. The followers, I guess. People follow these videos. He mentioned this band, Angel, and I'd never heard of them. Literally had never heard of them. I looked them up. I noticed that they had an album that came out this year, which is on my to-get list, and I'm probably going to get it this Friday for my this week's allowance. I'll probably get the new Angel album because it's got some great songs on there. And that opening track on it is just fist-pumping rock. It's just awesome. And I went and I didn't do a complete deep dive yet, but I did listen to the first couple of original albums. This album is their first studio album. This is from 1975. And it has a similar song on it, like The Torch, which is the first track on the new album. This track's called The Tower, and it's the first track. I think it's the first track I literally clicked on when the person mentioned the band. And I didn't know what album was on it. It popped up, I think, right up to the top in the songs on YouTube, and I clicked on it, and I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. I love the cover. I mean, I love these covers. They're so cool looking. They're right up my alley. They push all my buttons. When they're on the cover, I find it a little cheesy, like on the new album. I like it more when nobody's on the cover. It's just, the artwork. I think that's better. I mean, it'd be cool. It'd be fine if you put them on the back, right? By the way, they're on Casablanca Records, same as Kiss, and of course Gene Simmons, as I read, was integral in finding this band. But I'm going to do a proper review on this one, obviously. But this album is unbelievable. And I could not believe, I wasn't even expecting it. I just went to A in the rock section at Electric Kitsch at my local record store, and in like the second or third album, I pulled this back and went, what the hell? I'm like, what? I pull it out and I'm like, oh, please be in good shape. Please be in good shape. And it's got a little bit of wear on it, in the corner. But I'm like, okay, and I pull the disc out and I look at it, and I don't see any scratches. I don't see any scuffs. It looks pretty clean. The inside sleeve is there. It's got a little bit of ring wear, but not much. I mean, it's a dark cover, so you're going to get that. But not a lot of ring wear. And I was just like, it's mine. And I looked at the price, $7. I guess that's the going rate. If you look at Discogs, it's about $7 to $10 for the album. But I was looking at it on Discogs. I was going to order it. And I was like, okay, well, I put it in my wish list on Discogs, so I didn't order it, obviously, yet. But I saw it there, $7. I was like, oh, it's mine. Gotta have it. So, thank you. I can't remember where your name is at the top of the moment, or top of the... If you guys go back to... It's one of the Kiss videos, I think. He says, Angel Rules. I think that was his comment, and it's on there. Sorry, I should have wrote it down. But you guys will see it on there. That's the person who tipped me off to them. Like I said, straight into my favorite band list. And these guys are awesome. And the new album is awesome. And I really want to get all of their original studio albums, and of course I want to get the new album. So I'm going to keep my eyes open for more of these, and I'm going to do a proper review on this one as well. Probably after I do the Unicorn one from Gunship. Last thing I found, also found it for like less than $10. Exit Stage Left. It's funny, obviously I don't think like Exit Stage Left is one of those albums that you always you see it on record, in the used bins, and you got to check the discs out, right? You almost don't even need to check out some of these, because nobody listens to these. Sure they do, but I mean, for the most part, I think a lot of people don't even listen to these live albums. I do. I love the live albums. But this of course is the whole Moving Pictures tour. So this is 81 for this tour, and this is the mystery tour, the tour that I may or may not have actually seen. Yeah, it's pretty cool, and like I said, I got it for less than $10. So every time I find a Rush album that's in decent shape and the discs are fine, and it's less than $10, I'm grabbing it. I got to throw it in the collection. I can't. I want to buy all reissues for all the new Rush stuff, and I probably get a few of them, but sometimes there's a lot of them and they get expensive, so if I can find these used, I will find these used and throw it into the collection. So that was my haul for the weekend. I spent a little bit more money than I wanted to. I wasn't actually planning on buying Popestar, and of course the used albums I didn't know. I figured I might find something, but I figured I'll spend about $20 at the store, if they have some used stuff. I ended up walking in there spending $40. It's just the way it happens. So like I said, it was a big week for music for me. Again, it blew my allowance out of the water, but it was kind of we're out with, friends and stuff, and it's kind of a thing, which reminds me, actually, if you saw it in the video, for my apartment video, you saw that flyer on my refrigerator, and the magnet in my refrigerator, that record convention's coming up this Saturday. And I think I'm going to go Saturday at 10 a.m. The doors open at 9, but you got to pay $10 to get in an hour before everybody else, so you can get primo picks on everything. But I'm not really looking for anything specifically, and I don't really want to spend a lot of money, so I'm going to try to make it as hard as I can to spend money. So I'll go in at 10 o'clock after the Rush. I'll go in for free. And I'm going to look around and see what they got. I've been wanting to go to this convention for a while, and I seem to always miss it. It's about every 3 months. It's at the Legion Hall. It's right near me. And I have one friend, Mark Kai, my son's friend's dad. He said he's going to go too. So, and of course my ex-father-in-law will probably end up going as well. So I'm going to go check that out. I'll probably stay for a couple of hours. I can't really. I got to get back and do some work because I don't have my son this weekend, so I'm going to do that. But I'm going to check it out and see what they got, and see if there's anything cool. What I'm really looking for is more of those Angel albums, and I don't know if anybody's going to have them much. Somebody's got them all, and I think there's 4 more as far as the studio albums before the new one. The new one, I think there's 2 new ones. But they'll probably have them, well, they'll want $15 a piece, $60. It's maybe. Um, but usually that's the way it goes. When I don't look for something, or I don't want to spend money, and I go looking for something that they probably won't have. Sure as shit, they're gonna have it, just like they had that album at Electric Kitsch. So, all right, let's get into the albums. I got my note sheet, of course, here, and of course I can tick off those albums from here. So I've got all the studio albums. I still need the live albums, Ceremony and Devotion, which I love live albums, so I'll get that. And I need If You Have Ghost. They had a copy at Electric Kitsch. I can get a copy online. That's hard to get, but it's the last of the EPs. As far as their regular releases, it's everything. So I'll have all the Rush. I'll have all the Ghost albums here. So let's get into Meliora. I think I'm pronouncing it right. That's how I've been pronouncing it. It's another cool album. I gotta say, I think that the artwork is too dark. I mean, I understand what they're going for with this, but the thing is, I think that all this detail in this, these like Gothic cathedral type buildings on the sides, and all the stuff going on in the street is really hard to see on the album. Like, really hard to see. It's very muddy, and I don't know what it is, but man, they really like brown. Ghost really, whoever does all the album designs for Ghost, they really like the color brown. I'm not a huge brown fan, at least not on like visual arts. I like, here's the second album cover, Infesta Minimum, which I still can't pronounce. I love the yellow and the red, or the orange and red against the black. I think that looks great. I think this one's just a little too muddy, the cover. I don't mind the artwork itself. I just think it's just too muddy. I mean, it is busy. Like, I keep saying that again on all their artworks. Their stuff is very busy. Is this a gatefold? This isn't a gate, so I don't need to pull that out. It's just got the tracks on the back and a little extra art. Of course, here's the disc. The only thing else I swear to God, they're stealing my Captain Cooley and Kid the Light idea. I guess it's not that clever of an idea, but I like to think it is. It's got the sleeve in there. It's got the band on it, which is cool. And you got the lyrics, so perfect on that. Black sheet with white lyrics, good. And then you get this little guy, just like, was it Imperial had it? Or was it Prequel? One of the other albums had these little booklets. Sorry, I love smelling this stuff. Oh, it just smells like stuff. But anyways, and it's got these really cool drawings in it. And like I said, again, busy artwork, but on the flip side of it, at least it's black and white. It almost looks like etchings. I got a friend who, the Ruther friend, he draws and stuff, and I find he has a tendency to ink the shit out of some of his artwork with a lot of extra lines and stuff. Now, granted, this isn't a comic book, and this is kind of the style, but he kind of indicative of his style, where he's got a lot of textures and and lines, whether it's cross hatching or stippling or whatever in the work. I'm not a huge, like I said, I do a lot of hatching, but my hatching's I do more like feathered hatching when I do my stuff. But I've been actually inking the shit out of some of my recent artwork too, more so than I had before. Nice, cool photo of the band on the inside. Sorry, I keep looking at my things to make sure I got them in camera. I like those man. I like the Papa Emeritus character, the one from the previous album. I think he looks cooler. This is, of course, another one. I think this is I can't remember what his name is. The other Papa character. So this one doesn't have the lyrics, and it just has artwork for, and I'm assuming they're for the songs. Yeah, for the songs. Different art for the songs. What was I going to say? Slipped my mind. Maybe I'll think about it again. All right, I'm just going to put that back in there. I don't want to waste all this camera time fighting the records back into their sleeves. Ghost is Ghost. Popestar, I think, also is very lackluster. All it is, I gotta get some more inner sleeves, some outer inner sleeves. You get a black sleeve. That's it. No lyrics on it. No track title listings. I mean, there's track title listings on the back of the sheet here, but other than that, and again, they love that brown. This one's a little more easier to see some of the detail in it, but even this one, I just find I'm not a huge fan of the artwork on these. I mean, I don't think it's terrible. I just have issues with the color, issues with some of the busyness. Outside of that, I mean, they're cool. I mean, they're cool. They're definitely cooler than a lot of album cover art that you get, recently. But these ones, I think, are the weakest of all of the albums so far as the covers. Because even like Prequel and Imperial, even though they're busy as all hell, they're still pretty clear. I mean, you still pretty can tell what's going on in the images. So let's get into the album again. Here, I'm going to keep saying this. I'm not going to play the album. Well, this is a review / reaction to it, but I'm not going to react to it live because, again, I don't want to get a copyright flag. And B, I really don't. I mean, I like listening to reaction videos, but you know what? I really get irritated when they're like, they stop the song right when I'm going. Like, I'm jamming to the song. I could just listen to the song on my own, without listening to the reaction. I kind of get going, and I keep seeing them, and of course, it's like, then they stop the song, and then they go, oh, let's hear that part again. No, I don't want to hear it again. Just keep it going. God, it's such a buzzkill when they want to stop and redo it. And then they want to go back and let's listen to one more time. No, just let the album play and then give me, So, again, you don't need to really listen to the album or the songs while I'm talking. Let me talk first, or you can even pause. Go to when I start talking, like I talk about the first track, go listen to the first track, right? Listen to it in its entirety so it's fresh in your head. Then, put it in a separate window. I hate how I have to tell people how to use the internet. I'm not an internet expert by any stretch of the means, but it's simple. And then listen to what I have to say about the song, right? And when I go to the next one, pause me, go listen to the song, come back, unpause me, listen to what I'm saying. I guess it's too much to ask people to do that, but it's better than that, and then me getting a copyright strike. I'm not going to play the video. Again, you can play the video for Cerise, but I'm just going to show you a couple of things that just kind of, I'm going to rant a little bit for that video, so I'll show you the visuals and stuff, see if you can know what I'm talking about. But again, I'll talk about it, watch it, then listen to what I have to say, or listen to what I have to say and then go back and talk it, so maybe you'll have what I had to say in your mind when you go listen to it, or vice versa, or do them both, right? You got time, maybe you don't, I don't know. But let's get into this. So I'm going to switch over the screen to the track listings here. Of course, this album, 2015. It's funny, I was reading here too. Does it say it in here? Meliora is the third studio album by Swedish rock. We know that Swedish rock band Ghost. So, if this is your first video, maybe you don't. The album was produced by Klas Ulland. More misplaced umlauts. No, actually, I don't know if they're misplaced, but more umlauts. And I think he's the guy. He's the current producer, I believe. He's the big pop producer. And released on August 21st, 2015. The album was generally well received. I gotta take the word for it. Placing on several music publication lists of the very best heavy metal albums of the year. Again, I would put him in maybe rock metal. Sometimes it's metal, sometimes it all depends on the song. There's that seems like to be the biggest argument with Ghost is it's not metal. It is metal. Some of it's metal, some of it's not metal. Just depends on what it is. That's why I hate genres. It's just call it rock, right? Is it hard rock? Is it heavy metal? Is it metal? Whatever. It's rock. It's rock and roll, right? Is it dance music? I don't know. Some songs are dancey. Is it a ballad? I don't know. Is it country? Well, it's obviously not country. The only like I said, I keep saying this over and over again. Rock, pop, R&B, country, right? And then classic, you can go down, list things that are obviously not in those categories. But I would say most music since like the 50s that's not R&B, is not country, is rock music. If it's hard, maybe it goes into heavy metal, right? Now you've got like death metal, all don't get me started on all that. But anyways, so yeah. So let's see what. So they basically, they won some Grammy awards. Best hard rock metal album, right? I guess that's the way the Grammys do it too. They're just as dumb as everybody else. I say that in a loving way, of course. Lead single Cerise won 2006 Grammy Awards for Best Metal Performance. September 2016, the band released a special edition of the album called Meliora Redo or Redux, which of course has the Popestar on it. So let's get into the tracks here. What are we doing on time? Okay. All right. The first song is Spirit. Let's check my notes. What did I say? Oh yeah, that's right. Right off the bat, when I got to like I think it was the harmony part in it, right? I'm like going, I couldn't quite place it. What does this sound like? And I couldn't remember. I should have pulled this up, which I didn't. But anyways, there is a song. I kept thinking, I kept listening to it, and I'm like going, na 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 na. What does that sound like? And it hit me. In 1984, and of course I didn't see it till like 86 when it was in reruns. It was because it was on PBS. There's a British TV show called Robin Hood. I think it was called Robin Hood or The Adventures of Robin Hood. It was this 80s TV show that was done, in Britain. I thought it was Canadian at first, but no, it's British, and the same thing. Anyway, they both use Celsius. Anyway, so I was like, it sounds like the opening song to that TV show. So if you listen to it, it's a track called The Hooded Man. I always thought it said The Crooked Man, but it's a song called The Hooded Man. It's by a band called Clanned or Clanned. I thought Clan would be Edie, but it's Clann, Clanned, or whatever. They're like a folk, like Celtic, folky kind of, mixed with a lot of synthesizers, because it's 80s, synthesizers and stuff, and I think all the Robin Hood stuff I think ended up dumping onto an album, like a compilation called Legends, and then I think there's actually a Robin Hood soundtrack for it, but the opening soundtrack, the Robin, the Crooked Man, or the Hooded Man. I always keep thinking they're saying the Crooked Man, and I have very fond memories of that show because, like I said, I watched that pretty extensively one summer when it was on PBS because it aired, I think on like Showtime first or one of the pay channels, and then it ended up going to the PBS station. So our PBS station was Channel 9. And it was on, and I watched it at my grandma's a lot on Thursday nights, and but I love that music, and then it goes the Crooked Man or the Hooded Man. It has that same. It sounds just like Spirit. I thought it was a long story. I just wanted to explain it to you. You can go online, look it up, put in the Hooded Man, Clanned. It'll come up with the track. But yeah, it sounds. Listening to this song, it's a great track, but that's the thing that really stands out to me is how much it keeps making me, I want to break into the Hooded Man instead of whatever, I can't remember what the lyrics are in their song. Da-na-na-na-na-na. You'll hear it. Sounds great. The song is great. Okay, From the Pinnacle to the Pit, track 2. I love the overdriven bass. Love it. I think that sounds pretty awesome. I love the sustained guitar solos. I think they're playing a lot of Les Pauls on these earlier albums, and a lot of sustained, I call them sustained distant guitar, and they have a distinct sound, and I really like that, and it's not overblown. It's not just total shredding, sweeping shredding. It's very subtle, and it comes in, and I think it even comes in the stereo of Pan if you listen to it in the headphones. And it's really top-notch. I really like the way that's done. It's got a simple bridge, simple chorus. I think it's just one lyric line for the bridge, one lyric line for the chorus, but then it goes into this interlude, which it also repeats as the outro. I think that's really cool. It's got a cool... there's more meat to the interlude than the chorus or the bridge, and I think that's pretty cool. That's probably my favorite part of the song is the interlude, which again is the outro. All right, now it brings us to Cerise. Okay, so I was reading my notes. I don't want to offend anybody with this comment, right? But I'm going to say some stuff about this video that kind of it might ruffle some feathers. It's probably going to paint me as a dick, but I'm just going to say it anyways. So let's go to that. Let's see if I can pull this up. Like I said, I don't really want to play it per se. There's the opening to it. And of course, you know, this little girl and her mother go in. She looks very Shelley Duvall, like an attractive Shelley Duvall. Does that make any sense? I didn't find Shelley Duvall to be overly attractive. So her mom's a attractive Shelley Duvall. This little girl here, she's very weird looking. She's like, her eyes are buggy, and like I don't know if it's her eyes are too far apart. Again, I don't want to make fun of this young little girl, but she just looks really weird. Know what I'm saying? Anyways, some kid looks like a freak, and I'm saying, look at that freaky kid over there. Anyways, she looks weird. Of course, this sets up kind of like a horror movie, like a 70s horror movie, which is kind of cool. Again, like I said, I don't really want to get into the video. Yeah, it brings it up. It's almost like, you know, The Exorcist or whatever, you know. Amityville, or The Omen, right? It's got this cool thing, and it's essentially the premise of the video. If you haven't seen the video, is they're having a school talent show. So all the parents and the kids are showing up for a school talent show. And I don't know if it's supposed to be a religious school, like a private school, or what. But you know, they go there. The girl obviously doesn't want to be there. She's not happy. She doesn't want to be there. And then the whole thing is they play the song Cerise, and it's a bunch of kids that girl's age, and they're all dressed up just like the band, and they do the performance of the show. So it's pretty funny. You know, it's got a, I don't like to use the word cute, but it has a very, look at her Shelley Duvall mouth. Look at that Shelley Duvall mouth. Can you see her Shelley Duvall mouth in the video? Now it's kind of dark. Again, here I am I'm sorry I'm body shaming people. It's not that I'm shaming her. She looks like Shelley Duvall. She has Shelley Duvall face. So anyways, so the girl, obviously she's like, I don't want to be here. Right? And then, you know, here comes some girl, the hula hoop. She's a talented hula hoopist. And then you get into these two nuts. Now, these are supposed to be, obviously, I think the parents of the kid who's supposed to be like the Papa Emeritus character, like, you know, the kid, and these are the parents. And here's my rant. Again, I don't want to insult anybody or sound like a total asshole, but these guys look like those type of people, right? You know what I mean? Let's just say essentially that they're Satanists, right? They belong to the Satanic Church. Why do they all have a certain look to them? This is the dudes, right? The dudes they're all dudes, are always really tall. Gotta have the goatee. You can't be a Satanist without a goatee, right? And they gotta be tall, and obviously this is probably filmed in Sweden, so they're Swedish or whatever, but which it just adds to the whole me rolling my eyes. But anyways, I don't know. All the people who are like supposed to be like Satanists or whatever. Like I said, I don't know if that's what they're supposed to be. This is what in my head. It's like, oh yeah, they're the Satanist family. You know, they're the ones that belong. They take little Jimmy to Church of Satan not Sunday. When do you go to the Church of Satan on Sunday? Seems like that would be the time, right? Or that's God's day. So then Satan's got to have a day. Satan's probably got like Friday night, something good, you know. Because if you're going to do Satanistic stuff, you got to do it on a Friday night, right? You got a long day of work, a long week of work. You want to unwind. Let's do some Satanism. All right. So anyways, so yeah, it just has this look. He's just got this like tall, European-ish looking, good-looking guy, right? Which also brings me to a point. And here's where I also might offend people. Look at his wife. Really? That dude with that chick? it looks like his mom. And there are guys out there that I've seen some guys out there, you know, that's like, is that your mom? No, it's my wife. Okay? But anyways, I'm thinking, if you're a Satanist, right, you should be able to pull in some pretty good trim, right? Well, maybe back in the 70s, maybe not today, you know, maybe not in today's day and age, but back in the 70s, and I don't want, this is supposed to sort of looks like it takes place in the 70s. Now, I don't know when Anton Zandler LaVey, when he was in his prime, you know, he was in his top fighting prime, but, you know, it just seems like if you're into Satanism, you'd be pulling some pretty hot gothy chicks, you know what I mean? Not this lady, right? This dude is way too good looking for this lady. So, I don't know. Like I said, I don't want to insult people. But it's just my observation. Actually, you know what? I don't really care if I insult people. You know, I'm not maliciously trying to attack people. I'm just, this is what I'm thinking. This is what pops into my head. Maybe I shouldn't say what pops into my head all the time, but you know what? That's what pops into my head. So then the kids come out here and then they sing their little song. And they're dressed up like the character, and then, you know, basically they try to, she's like, oh, hey, you know, and then she's like, oh, something cool, something interesting. So obviously she's perked her little, you know, whatever we call it, deviant mind. She's like, oh, hey, well, they're into, you know, creepy shit like I am. So here, go, I'm suddenly interested. And then, so the kids play it or whatever. They try to pull the kids off stage. She tries to grab her hand. Yada yada yada. The band keeps playing. Da, 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 da. Then all hell breaks loose. This guy rips his shirt off. He's got the ghost symbol on his chest, and then it turns into this thing. And there's the Satanist parents. I just keep calling them that. Anton Zandler LaVey and his mother wife. But yeah, so anyways, that's pretty much all I have to say about the video. That was my I watched the videos. Oh, the video's funny, pretty funny, but that's the thing that popped into my head. So it wasn't really a rant, but you know, whatever. It is what it is. So anyways, but the song Cerise, it's good. I mean, it's the single off the album. I don't really have much to say about the music itself. I mean, it's weird, oddly enough. It's a good song. I can see why they picked it for the single. I've heard it probably the most out of any other song on this album, and I don't really have a lot to say about it. It's not bad. I just don't have a lot to say about it. The next track, is it Spoke Sonnet? I don't know. Spock Sonnet? Live Long and Prosper. It's an instrumental. It's really short. It's like it's like a minute long, 57 seconds. It's a short little instrumental. It's kind of cool. Then you got to flip the disc. No, there's one more track before you have to flip the disc. So it's still side A. And then you get into He Is. He is. Nah, nah. It's got a very catchy chorus. I mean, this is where I think this album is where Ghost started to go from a little bit more hardcore to you know, not really hardcore, but you know what I mean, a little more off the beaten path. Now they're really kind of bringing it into this really catchy choruses and stuff, and this album starts to really kick in with some catchy choruses. But you know what's weird though about the He Is part? I literally had to do an auditory double take. I'm like, I kept thinking I was listening to Interpol. You know the band Interpol? They're like they're American. I don't think they're British. They're like a lo-fi indie band from like the mid-aughts. I saw them in concert on State Theater in Detroit. I thought they're really good. Their album, I can't remember the name of their album is off the top of my head. I think they have more than one album, but the first album, which may be the second album, I really liked. But yeah, I was just like, I heard the song, I'm like, going, is this Interpol? It's like, no, it's Ghost, but it sounds very Interpol-ish. Yeah, so like I said, the little chorus, and it's got this little hook at the end of the chorus, which is cool. The chorus, I couldn't really. It reminded me of something. Everything reminds me of something. My friends hate this when I say this. They're like, come on, Tim, everything reminds you of something. Everything does remind me of something. Everybody looks like somebody else. Every song sounds like every other song. Every car looks like every other car. like I said, I got 50 years of stuff crammed in this brain. Eventually, you're gonna start. There's only so many DNA strands in the world. You're eventually gonna start hearing the same thing over and over again. So yeah, it sounds like, I can't place it, but it sounds like something I've heard before, just like the Robin Hood thing. Like again, more distant guitar solos, love that. I just think that's awesome. Which again, I put in my notes here. I think that they do this up. I don't think they do it as much. More of the guitars are more in your face on the later albums, but definitely the first 3 albums, they really do this nice. And I think it's because of the musicians that play in the band. But they really do this nice, distant, sustainy, Les Paul-y guitars. My one buddy said that's very Steve Hackett. I gotta take his word for it. I'm not a huge fan of early Genesis. I love Yes, and I love other prog rock, but I just never could get into early Genesis with Gabriel. Yeah, he said, "Oh, it's very Steve Hackett." I sure, I gotta agree with him. I can't disagree because I don't know. All right, so we flip the disc over. First one track off of it is Mummy Dust, and I gotta say, Mummy Dust. I keep saying more Megadeth licks. It sounds very Megadeth-y, just like the other ones sound like. There's another song off one of the albums that sounds very Symphony of Destruction. This one here again, it's very Megadeth-y kind of lick. Of course, then it goes into like an ELP kind of Keith Emerson thing, and then it kicks off this crazy. It sounds like a keytar solo. He's out there keytaring it. I think I've seen the guy keyboardist play keytars on stage, so I think it's a big keytar solo. You're pulling out all the stops, and if you're a band and you got a hit, you're throwing in keytar solos. You're pulling out all the stops. So, not my favorite song on the album. I'd say Mummy Dust probably one of my weaker songs on here. Majesty. I like the cool rocky riff that comes out in the left channel right off the bat in the beginning of Majesty. This one sounds very Iron Maiden. It's got that chugga 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 Iron Maiden. Not the dun 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 dun, but the chug chugga 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 chugga, the chug chugga 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 chugga, kind of Iron Maiden-y, riff. And of course, then this chorus is very catchy as well. I liked it better than Mummy Dust. Devil's Church, another instrumental. Great, sounds really neat. All I know is just at the very end, again, it sounds like something else, and then right at the end it is, yeah, and I'm thinking, all I kept thinking I was going to hear, Machine Messiah. I was thinking they're going to break into some drama. Yes, there at the very end it was the Machine Messiah. Just the way it went, yeah, because it does that, just like in Machine Messiah. So that's all I really have to say on that one. Other than that, it's a pretty decent instrumental. Absolution, great song. I don't know if it's I think I've made a note which one's my favorite song off the album. Was it Absolution? It might have been. Again, you get a very nice, metal guitar lick. Maybe not so much Megadeth, but just a very, straight up metal-ish guitar riff. Which again, okay, country music doesn't play chug chugga chug chugga chugga with a lot of distortion, right? Right? You don't hear that in hip hop really, unless it's like sampled or they're making it a thing, right? You don't hear that. You get rock music, regular rock music. Sure, you might get a lot of distortion, guitars and stuff, but you don't really get that chug chugga 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 chugga. I mean, usually to me, you get any heavy metal, book from the 80s, it's like, learn to play heavy metal licks. Every single one of them is a chug chugga chug chugga chug chugga cha 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 jump cha cha. So get this chug chugga chug chugga chug chugga chug, right? So to me, that's metal. Yeah, again, another cut. I mean, this album's got a lot of catchy choruses on it, so it goes into another catchy chorus. Bass guitar is very nice, low, and I'm assuming it's in drop D. I haven't checked the tuning on it, but I think it's in drop D, and it's very low and growly. And it's the beauty of dropping your bass down to low D. You hit that low D, you're gonna get that growl, that and it sounds really cool. In spots in the song, though, Absolution, I was thinking it's totally like the Beatles in certain regards. Specifically, Strawberry Fields, I feel like this is one part in the song, and again, just go listen to it. You'll hear it. If you know Strawberry Fields, and you know what you'll get this reference. If you don't know Strawberry Fields, then the reference is kind of wasted on you anyway, so don't even bother. But listen to the song. See if you can hear some Strawberry Fields in it, right? I just feel the Strawberry Fields forever. I just feel like that's in there. And then, of course, then kicks up. Whoa, suddenly Rick Wakeman shows up, and it goes total Rick Wakeman crazy. Maybe not Keytar Rick Wakeman, but definitely Rick Wakeman. And then the weird thing is, then they do this like vocal harmony in it, like with the with the ghouls, and I swear it sounds like Cheap Trick, like old Cheap Trick, like like when what's his face, Rick Nielsen and Tom Peterson do this kind of vocal harmony after Robin Zander sings along line like the Dream Police, and then the other two come police. It's got this kind of vocal harmony. It sounds very Cheap Trick. So this song's all over the place. I mean, you're talking Strawberry Fields, you're talking Rick Wakeman, you got, Chug Chugga Chug Chugga Cha Cha, you got Cheap Trick vocal harmonies. I don't know, this song's going all over the place. I thought I noted that one of my favorite songs off the album, maybe it was this one, I can't remember what it was. Then the last song on the album, B-side, 10th track, is... I'm going to butcher the name. Deuce in Absentia? Absentia, I guess. Deuce in Absentia? I guess that's how you pronounce it. I'm not I don't know if that's Latin, but I'm not a very well-versed Latin person. In fact, I'm not I'm not a Latin anything. So all I know is E pluribus unum, and I thought I used to know other one. Coupe de Gracie. Anyways, so this one, this song, I was going to call it Absolution. Let's call it track 10. Track 10, Deuce. Let's call it Deuce. Get your grandma out of here. Get up and get your grandma out of here. It's worth a deuce. So anyways, that's Deuce. It starts out very Golden Earring. I was going to say Bullet Hits the Bone, but that's not the name of the song. The name of the song is Twilight Zone. You know that right before the do-do-do-do-do-do-do, right before they get that, like that lead into the song, to Golden Earring, or to Twilight Zone, and then you hear that do-do-do-do-do-do-do. The do-do-do-do part's not in the song, but that lead in sounds like almost like the Twilight Zone Golden Earring leads into it. And then, of course, then it goes back to sounding like Interpol again. So it's like, okay, wait, Golden Earring? No, not Golden Earring. All right, now we're back to Interpol. Sounds very Interpol again. I'm assuming that the Tobias Forge is a big fan of Interpol. I don't know, maybe not. He sounds, some of these tracks sound an awful lot like Interpol. Again, then the chorus is all over the place. I mean, it sounds like, what did I put down there? Yeah, the chorus starts sounding like, I can't even name all this stuff. Just add 10 bands that I like, that I like. It sounds like all of them. It's just the chorus just goes everywhere. But then the thing is, then the guitar, now I don't know if they do this, it seems like they did this one of the other albums, the last song, but the guitar, like, they said they're doing that distant kind of Les Paul-y thing, distant, sustainy guitar, and that was on pretty much Opus, Infest, and now this one. And then you don't hear that as much on the newer albums, and because this is the last track from the third album, it seems like it jumps in with another guitar player, another style altogether, another guitar sound, and it sounds more like their newer stuff. So I was wondering if they do this. It's supposed to be like a hint. Just like in the end of Opus, I can't remember what song it was. Remember I said in the last track that it kind of has a hint of the next album? I feel like they do that. Like they hint to the next album in the last track. Kind of like, oh, here, this is kind of what the next album is going to sound like, so I don't know if that's conscious, it's just my imagination or what that is, but that's what I get. And like I said, this guitar at the end of the song kicks in, and it's just like, oh, this sounds like the newer Ghost. So that's the album. Eventually I'm going to do a ranking. There's only 5 studio albums out, so it's pretty quick ranking. Basically, your top 5. Well, there is 5. I don't know where I put this specific album. I really gotta, like I said, I've got to listen to these albums like I've listened to Rush albums or Blue Oyster Cult albums or Yes albums. I've got to hear them 10,000 times. You know what I mean? I've got to hear them so well that I could tell you every track off every album, which my memory's starting to go. Actually, my son was asking me which songs were on Hemispheres from Rush, and I was like, Hemispheres and the La Villa song. Again, I can't pronounce anything. And I said, is the trees on it? He says, yeah, the trees are on it. He says, isn't there one more? I go, oh, Cygnus X. I had to think about it. Like I said, there's only so much bandwidth, so much CPU memory or, RAM in this, hard drive here. It's hard to, certain things you have to throw some stuff in the recycling bin if you're going to put new stuff in. So I only got some. I got to buy some more RAM. Yeah, what am I saying? Sorry, RAM system malfunction. So anyway, yeah, I don't know where I put this on the album. Like I said, I've got to listen to all the albums a few more times and really get to know. So I know, oh, that's the song off that album. That's the song off that album. And listen to some of these, even the obscure ones or the songs I think are kind of weak. I've got to get them all in my brain and stored deep inside to where I can really give an honest critique. I have a favorite song, and we'll get to that because it's on Popestar. I have a favorite song so far. But I had something like Mariana Cross. I wasn't really a huge fan of it at first. I was like, it kind of rubbed me the wrong way, to tell you the truth. But I've learned how to play it on the bass, and it's kind of wearing on me, and I kind of like it now more so. So my tastes change, and again, it's just like Rush. I mean, you can even take this band. They've been around for 13 years now. Ghost. They got 5 albums out. You could almost say it's the same situation where it's like, what are you in the mood for? Are you in the mood for new Ghost? Are you in the mood for old Ghost? Mid-range Ghost? It all depends on what mood you're in. If I'm all into like my 80s Rush, then I'm going to think all the 80s Rush albums are the best. If I'm in the 70s Rush, I'm going to think all the 70s Rush albums are the best. It just depends on when you catch me. So, I didn't take many notes on Popestar, but let's just cover Popestar real quick. And yes, Square Hammer is my favorite Ghost song so far. I'm playing it all the time on the bass now. My son's playing it. My son's just totally rocking the guitar solos out and stuff to it. We're having a lot of fun with it, but I definitely say Square Hammer is probably my all-time favorite Ghost song to date. And that could change with the new album. I might like Mariana Cross more at some point, but for now, it's Square Hammer. Nocturnal Me, which is the second track, is a cover. Everything's a cover except for Square Hammer. It's the only Ghost song on the album. Everything else is a cover. And it's a kind of a weird mix. Echo and the Bunnymen, the only thing I'm thinking of the Church. Trying to think what Echo and the Bunnymen's big song was in the 80s. I don't think this was it, but Nocturnal Me is their cover. It's okay. I'm not a huge Echo and the Bunnymen fan. I like that one hit, which I don't think is this one. It's okay. But this one's, what do you call it? Yeah. I think they do a good job of it. The third track... it's by the Simian Mobile Disco. It's called Simian Mobile Disco cover, and I don't know what the hell that means. I'm assuming that's Swedish or something. I don't know. Maybe you guys know. I don't know my disco very well. Death Before Disco. No, actually, I kind of like disco, but I don't know it. I mean, I don't have a disco knowledge. Just out of the Bee Gees and like the Tramps. I mean, the basic stuff. But I Believe is a song. It sounds great. I don't know the song, but it sounds great. I think it's a great song. Missionary Man, I recognize that one right off the bat. That's the Eurythmics. I think even I don't know if, I'm sure they don't get her to do it, but I think they just sample a little part of Annie Lennox, and she just, this little Annie Lennox sample on it. I think it's just a nod to her. But you know, it's not my favorite Eurythmics song, and I'm not a huge Eurythmics fan. I mean, I love those hits that were out in the '80s, you know, "Sweet Dreams," stuff like that. So I can't say I'm a huge Eurythmics fan. I think they're a great band. I like Annie Lennox. I mean, I like the whole package. But I'm just not a huge, you know, I'm gonna have an Annie Lennox, you know, Eurythmics collection. But I know the song right away, and I was like, okay, this is great. You know, it sounds nice. The last track though, Bible. I'd say it's my outside. Obviously, nothing's gonna compare with Square Hammer, but it's my second best song on this EP. I would say I probably like the Bible more than any of the songs on Meliora. It's a cover. It's by a band called Imperiet, which is a Swedish rock band from the 80s, and I don't know them. And I went and I looked at their discography and the album that this specific song came off of, and I don't know how to describe them. I guess they're kind of new wave. They're European new wave. Almost kind of have almost like a ska kind of, I wouldn't say a ska, but they just have this kind of weird feel to them. I don't know. Maybe it's just very Swedish. I can't really, I don't know what that really means, to tell you the truth. To me, Swedish is the Swedish Chef and ABBA, and that's really the only Swedish meatballs. It's really the only thing I know. So I can't really, I know, my friend's got a buddy who plays on game, and I talked to him a few times. He's from Sweden, and he sounds as American as us, and he's telling us some stuff about Sweden here and there once in a while, but I don't know much about the country. I don't know much about their culture. I just assume they're just fill in the blank European culture. I don't know what's the difference between Sweden and Norway. Outside, they probably hated each other and killed each other at some point, or they both teamed up and they went and they killed the Irish. I don't know. I don't know much about them. You know, obviously also the black metal and stuff comes from that neck of the woods, which I don't like. But yeah, the Bible song though, I mean, regardless of the band that originally does it, and I think that the cover, I listened to the original song, and I think that their cover is a lot better because it's a lot bigger sounding. I think the thing that original song sounds like, it seemed like a very epic, big sounding song, but it feels like it was condensed and kind of recorded like in a small clubby environment, where Ghost's version of it just opens it up, makes it really big, and it's got a very like you know, like kind of like anthem-y kind of you know, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like one of those like get you in the mood. Not really a fist pumper per se, but just like a you know, I guess it's called Bible. I guess, you know, like almost like it's trying to give you like in a religious experience kind of thing. I don't know. I kind of going all over the place with that description, but you kind of might know. You got to listen to the song, and you might know what I'm talking about. So that's it. I mean, that's the two albums. I pretty much went almost an hour here, so let me just wrap up here. Yeah, great albums. Popestar again. That one I can just put back in there. I'm running out of room, by the way. I've got 60 albums now. 60 albums in there, and I don't think I can fit maybe another 3, and that's about it. And if they're double discs, forget about it. So, I don't know what it is with all these double discs, and I know sort of what it is, and like I said, I'll get into it, the gunship thing. I don't know if this is the strategy, but it seems like, maybe I'll just hint at this. I'll talk more about this when I do the Gunship album. But Gunship, I put it on the turntable, disc 1, and it was like, it's out, it's off. I'm like, is it a 45? Because I had it set, obviously it's a 12-inch disc, double disc, I'm assuming 33 RPM, right? No, it's a 45. Obviously 45 is faster than 33, so you're only going to fit 3 songs on an album, maybe 4 on a side of a disc, and it's got 13 songs on the album, which is a lot of songs. But I'm just thinking to myself, you know, couldn't you guys have just made this one 33-inch? But of course, then they can't make it a gatefold, and then they can't charge you for 2 different discs. I feel like it's a cash grab. I feel like recording an album, a studio album, that's not an EP, it's not a single, you're recording it on 45 RPM and making it 2 discs, I feel like it's a cash grab. Maybe I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. If there's a reason for it that's a logical reason for it that's not a cash grab, somebody let me know. But I feel it's a cash grab. And that kind of, I didn't have really an overall opinion of that band right off the bat, but I got to say that kind of turned me off right away. I was just like, I don't know if I like that. But I listened to the rest of the album. Like I said, I need to listen to it a couple more times. I'll probably try to do it maybe tomorrow, or maybe the next day. I'll do it assembly. I wanted to do it as close to the release date just so I can it's fresh, but I got to digest it a little bit more. I got to think about it more. And I got to remember, why do I really like this band? I know I did the whole video on synthwave, and like I said, a lot of that stuff pushes my buttons, but this album itself, I don't know, kind of irritates me a little bit. I don't know why. I'll have to get more into that. Yeah, I'll definitely do that Angel review. I'm probably going to listen to that again tonight because I just love this album. This album is just awesome. And I'll probably do a proper review of that probably tomorrow. So, you know, because this will be... So, yeah, and I'll have one more to do for Friday. Other than that, again, I got all my Ghost albums. I'll get the live album eventually, and I'll get the other, what do you call it? But I'll probably end up revisiting Ghost again, and I'll probably eventually I'll be able to do ranking, you know, and again, hopefully they're coming out with an album next year once they're done with their tour. That would be nice. So, you know, that's something to look forward to. I'd love to see them in concert. I'd love to see them back at the, you know, like Pine Knob or something. You know, somewhere. I don't want to see them. I don't want to see them during the day outside. I'd rather see them at night inside, you know, because of their show and everything. But yeah, I'd like to see them in concert. I did notice though, if you go online, there's a lot of cover bands, like tribute bands. It's weird. You just assume tribute bands are like, I could see a Kiss tribute band or even a Rush tribute band, right? Because Rush is retired, Kiss is maybe going to retire, but a new or new-ish band, a tribute already, and they wear the costumes. I thought it was Ghost at first. I'm going, wow, because they have the gas mask helmets, not those devil masks. The ghouls did, and I went, why are they playing in a smaller club? Or it was like actually like an amphitheater outside. I'm like, why are they playing that with those masks? I thought they're playing bigger stadiums now with the newer versions of ghouls, and they're playing some of the newer songs. And I'm like, I look at the thing and I go, oh, it's a tribute band? You know, with the thing with the ghouls, unless body type's about the only way to tell. You know, it's like, well, that guy's tall and fat. You know, and this guy's skinny, but or short and fat, and the other guy's tall and skinny. So outside of the body type, they're even playing the same guitars, those, you know, Swedish guitars. It's just like, that's weird. But you know what? If they came to Bay City and played downtown in the amphitheater, or played over at the State, I'd go see them. I think it'd be pretty cool, actually. You know, they sounded pretty darn close. I thought it was Ghost at first. So yeah, that's out there. Just letting you guys know. Check it out. Go look online, see if you see any. If you see any Ghost tribute bands coming around to your area, let me know. You know, I said I want to kind of try to check it out. Maybe we'll get a Ghost tribute band coming here, because we get a ton of tribute bands. It seems like the whole summer is just nothing but tribute bands down in the park. Van Halen tribute band, Def Leppard tribute band. I mean, you name it. Very very rare do we get an actual band, and if it is, it's like a third. It's, you know, it's Joan Jett or Rick Springfield. It's just like, you're not going to see anybody, you know, top of the, you know, an A-lister down there, or even a B-lister. Not saying that they take anything away from Joan Jett or Rick Springfield, but they're pretty much just, you know, just keeping them on life support at this point. You know, I'm sure there's people, as diehard fans, like my son's grandpa, oh, Rick Springfield. But anyways, let me let you go, and I'm going to probably do, like I said, make a video for that other album tomorrow. Probably going to be a little bit on the music kick a little bit lately. I was going to read the Wolverine last night. Okay, one of these nights this week, if not this weekend, I'm going to read that Wolverine trade paperback, which is a compilation of the miniseries by Frank Miller. I've got to read it. I want to do a review on it, so, or whatever you call whatever I do. It's not necessarily a review, but a talk. So I'll do that, but that'll be coming up soon anyway. So, all right, I'm going to let you guys go, and I'm going to go rustle up myself some victuals here. All right, take care. Bye-bye.